Test, test. Can you guys hear me okay? Looks like we're not getting desktop audio. Let me fix that real quick. Properties, maybe. Device. Speaker Samson Meteor Mic. Can you hear this chest? I did get a haircut. Welcome, Sarfnik Harth, Emmett, Jewel Green, Arthur DeConing, Blasting Off Gaming, Emmett 1664, Me 333, Sturm Turper, welcome Spatulup, welcome Karis Sophia, Ozathoth, glad to see you guys all. We are starting 2018. I've got the studio set back up. I'm not sure 100% if the internet's working fully as well as it should. I'm gonna have to probably do some stuff with mic placement. In fact, I'm about to do that now. Let me mute and adjust that. Anytime I fully, break down my microphone setup and bring it with me, it ends up being a whole thing to get it all set back up. But I think that we are basically ready to start our Hermitcraft adventure for 2018. So why don't we hop up here, turn that off, go ahead and hit start recording and get underway. Oh, I'm glad you liked the video, me. I was worried it was a little choppy because of the laptop and everything. Oh, thank you, Blasting Off Gaming, for the kind words. It says, I love your voice and commentary. I try to say things with my voice that are commentatious, so I'm pleased to hear that. Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, but for the first time I'm recording in Nashville, Tennessee in 2018. Yes, that's right folks, you heard me. We have iterated the year, we have incremented, and it is just an amazing time to be alive and flying around. Look at this. Got a little bit of stutter on the elytra, as people often do on a server, but you know what, that's okay. One thing we gotta do this year though, to kick things off right, is we gotta clean up this mess. You know, one of the problems with receiving gifts is you get so much extra wrapping paper afterwards. It can take a while to, you know, consolidate it all. And you want to make sure that every piece that's possibly able to be reused gets reused. So, you know, you gotta separate and sort and all that. So we're just going to kind of go through here. Let's grab out all this nice white terracotta. We can probably reuse that somewhere. Actually, we can certainly reuse that somewhere. Just a matter of finding out where. But anyway, let's see, we're not just here to talk about wrapping paper today. It is already a big day in the news. Well, and it kind of started a little bit in the last week or so. There's been some crazy stuff going on with Intel processors, which as somebody who, works with computers for a living, I gotta say, this thing is pretty insane. For those of you who are, not following computer news, basically, Intel made a mistake with their design that is allowing certain types of protected memory to leak during speculative execution of code. Now, that's a lot of words that really don't sound like they mean much. Speculative execution, is that where we have 5 suspects for one crime and we kill them all in case one of them was the guy? Actually, that's, now that I'm saying that out loud, that's actually kind of really close to what speculative execution is. So, the way it works is a computer, it takes time for the computer to do stuff, like follow instructions. So, they might try to anticipate what the instructions will be, and then perform them in advance, but then only return what you actually ask for. So, the way I was kind of describing this bug to my coworkers is, it's like if we had a baker that worked for our company, and every time we had a client come in, we had the baker prepare a bunch of different types of pies in advance. Like, we don't know if the client wants to have a pie with cherries, or a pie with limes, or a pie with lemons, right? So we say, hey baker, go ahead and create all 3. But then when the client shows up, and we say, hey, what kind of pie do you want? If they say cherry, we'll go ahead and throw away the other pies. We're only going to give them the one that they asked for. And we'll pretend that the other ones didn't even exist, because we already knew exactly what they wanted, because we're so amazing at thinking about, all of these things. And we're so good at anticipating our clients' needs. So, anyway, that's kind of what speculative execution is. So the problem is, it turns out that like Intel's speculative execution thing, and once again, the details on this are kind of sparse right now. I'm speculating a little bit myself based on what I have been able to get from the Linux kernel mailing list and stuff. It looks like what's happening is that the imagine if our baker in this scenario, we asked them to make 3 types of pies, so no matter what the client asked for, we'd have the right kind ready. Well, imagine if this baker was just like, I feel like I'm doing such a good job making these 3 pies, I'll make other kinds of pies they haven't necessarily asked for, just in case they try to surprise me by asking for them later, So let's say that we find out, our baker has also been making orange pies and brisket pies and pork pies, and also some sort of weird pie where they photocopied all of our driver's licenses and credit cards and made copies of our car and house keys and put those on top too. That's a little strange, So we go to the baker and we're like, yeah, maybe don't do this, because this speculative baking, it's fine when it's stuff that we might actually want, but when you're providing people with things that we don't want you to give out, that's a problem. And the baker goes, well, no one's ever asked for a pie that had your car keys in it, so it's not like it's been a problem before. And we're like, yeah, but now that people know once people find out that that's an option, they're going to start asking for the pie with our credit cards and our photocopied driver's licenses and stuff, and so what are we going to do about that? And it looks like right now the options that the Linux kernel team have come up with, and presumably the Windows teams as well, and Mac teams, although their stuff isn't as much in the public sphere at the moment, the options that they've come up with to actually fix this problem involve basically losing a lot of the advantages of speculative execution entirely. So what that means is that you're going to see slower performance, because imagine if somebody asks for a pie and it's already baked, the baker just, says, hey, here it is. But now the baker's been told, hey, you're not allowed to make pies in advance anymore. You can only make pies that you're explicitly asked to make because we don't trust you. Well, now the baker has to wait for the person to come in and say, I would like a cherry pie, please. And then they start baking the pie. And that, I don't know if you've ever made a pie, theoretical YouTube commenter. Feel free to comment with what kind of pies you have made, if so. But if you have not made a pie before, I will tell you that it is a time-consuming experience. It is not something that one simply does, without, like, you have to preheat an oven, you have to roll dough, you have to do a whole bunch of things that all take time. And so the people at the end of the day are going to get the same quality of pie that they've always gotten. The difference is that it's going to take and it's actually going to take the same amount of time to make the pie as it would have otherwise. But the difference is it feels like it takes longer to make the pie because they aren't starting work on it until they're explicitly asked for it. And so what this kind of means is that a bunch of stuff with computers is going to run slower now. And some of the benchmarks on this are like between 3 and 20% for like major database software and stuff. And most of you guys aren't running major database software at home. This isn't going to affect you too much with your personal computers, but for people who run like large cloud installations and things like that, if you run a data center, your data center just got 3 to 20% less effective for one of its most common uses. And that is gonna be kind of crazy, because now people all of a sudden are just like, well, what are our options? Well, we can switch to AMD, who doesn't have the same problem as Intel, but if you just bought, like, 3,000 Intel processors, you don't want to go buy 3,000 more right away. So you go, okay, we're taking a 20% hit. Let's buy another 600 Intel processors and hope we don't run out of space in the data center. Let's just absorb the speed losses by scaling, which is not always possible in every application, but in some cases, it'll make a lot more sense to people to just buy more of the Intel chips than to actually replace them outright, which is kind of frustrating because it's like Intel might actually end up being rewarded for this in the short term, just because people all of a sudden are having to slow down their machines in order to achieve security that they thought they had all along. So this is going to be a huge mess, and it's something to keep an eye on if you're into computers at all. So yeah, I definitely recommend looking into this if you have any interest in how processors work as well. It's really neat how instructions are executed at the processor level. And that's out of scope of this video, because this is a video about unwrapping gifts for later usage. So, I don't know. You know what I should do with all of this green? I should use this for the sky of my tree tunnel. Okay, yeah, see? We are making progress. We are doing great. This is awesome. Thank you again, Scar, for all this amazing stuff. You know, now that... Let's go ahead and make sure that we've actually got all the blocks out of here that we needed to get. But, anyway, so... Yeah, what is this for? Is this just for standing on, or for spawning mobs, or... I don't know. That's kind of strange. Maybe it's a decoration of some kind? But, regardless, I am very excited about Scar's kind and generous gift of the Elytra and the associated flying equipment. Let's go ahead and maybe let's pack this stuff up and take it back to our base area. Whoa, these ornaments are also so cool. Okay, it is really hard to fly up into where I'm trying to fly. I'm clearly out of practice. I'm more of a Heavitra flyer at this point. Get it? Because I'm not light yet. Okay. Anyway, we will do our best to not be bad at everything. And that involves practice. But yeah. So, anyway. Let's see. So that Intel news was big stuff. Other things I wanted to talk about today. We just got back from Dallas, where we were visiting family. And, let's see. I gotta say, it was kind of an interesting holiday trip because, like, we celebrated 3 different people's birthdays while we were there. Whoa, it says 2018. Did Minecraft do this? Did Scar build that? Huh. It's very numerical. I like it. Is this Scar's little wall here? Let's Wow, it's so nice being able to zoom around. I was going to say, let's go through our portal and head back to our base, but we can actually fly back to our base. Yay! A whole new year. We've got Elytra fireworks. Thanks to a gift from Scar, we can glide far and further than we dreamed of. Anyway, let's go ahead and not skim the treetops entirely. Look at how close we are. See, I picked this base location because I knew it would be great for cool Elytra trips. And my only regret is that I haven't built more cool stuff between the spawn area and my base. I'm just burning through these fireworks like crazy. I should probably be more responsible about that. Also, I should probably figure out where I want to store my extra flight gear. Because I don't think I actually have like a fireworks building, future lumber supply, future redstone supply, present medical supply. We just don't have anything in the medical supply at all. Let's go ahead and take a look here. We've got, well, the sugar canes we can clearly put in our greenhouse. Hey man, back off. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, so let's go ahead. That's the least practical way to place this. Yeah, we'll go ahead and unload that. Although I'm realizing in order to have room to unload that, we're going to have to probably get rid of a lot of this clay first. Which I don't really have a clay storage area, but I do have a stone storage area. And as far as I can tell, it's actually pretty empty. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and dump all this extra terracotta for the time being. Do not want to lose our flat box here. Red terracotta, explosives. Okay, so... yeah, gunpowder and arrows. And then this is just like stuff I dumped out of my own inventory, I think, not stuff from Scar. But that's fine, because we can just, you know, kind of recycle all this back into here. No problem. Alrighty. So now we have an empty flat box. Whoa. For a second, I was worried that I had accidentally blown up the box labeled explosive, keep fire away. Dang it, Minecraft, you keep finding new ways to frighten and terrify me. I think... Okay, let's go ahead and empty out that sugarcane now. So anyway, we had a whole bunch of people having birthday parties down in Dallas. So one of the things we did was we stopped at the party store to buy balloons and streamers and ribbons and stuff. And we found a $20 6-foot-tall Mario helium balloon. And arguably, that's not the best use of $20, but I'm going to say we proved you wrong, because not only was the thing, I said 6 foot tall, it was 60 inches, so I guess that's actually 5 foot tall, but it's just this gigantic stand-up Mario balloon. It had weights in its feet, and so, like, the whole balloon would float to a standing position because the weights on the feet kept them, like, oriented properly. But this thing was a massive hit with my daughter, who just adored it, and it was kind of goofy, and the birthday boy enjoyed it as well. But where it really paid for itself was a few days later, when we were trying to get my daughter to take her nap. She was like, "Daddy, the skylight in the room we're staying in is too bright." And I'm looking up at this skylight, and it's just a hole in the ceiling with glass, right? I'm like, there's nothing I can attach a towel to. I'm trying to figure out if I can make a tent over the bed with a sheet or something. Nothing. There's no dice. But you know what? You know what worked perfectly? Took the weights off the feet of that Mario, and he just floated right up to the top of that skylight, and he stayed there. It was a perfect fit. So, managed to get my daughter to take a really good nap that day. She didn't wake up for 3.5 hours. So, you know, $20 for a balloon that gets me 3.5 hours of daughter sleeping. You know, I figure that's worth it. You know, like, some people drug their kids. I'm not gonna. But, you know, it's, I'm sure that they would have spent more than $20 on NyQuil. Probably not, actually. I think NyQuil's pretty cheap. Okay, that was not where I wanted to go. I don't really buy NyQuil. But, so yeah, don't give NyQuil to your kids. Buy large balloons. Anyway, what was I saying? I need to get back out of here now. So, I was really happy with that Mario purchase. Let me think. We have been going for about 15 minutes. Are people having streaming issues? I did not relog. I'm gonna stop the recording. Are people having streaming issues? Just Karis? Okay. Daniel Danar says I should make a chandelier in my base and put in the floor everything polished. That'd be neat. Welcome, Protos Vault. Glad to have it. Welcome, Ozathoth. Okay. Well, if the streaming issues are resolved, we will resume our recording. Okay. Okay, so let's do some more inventory stuff. Sometimes the rain makes the stream go slow. Sorry, guys. That's a weather issue. Okay, so we've got our 3 boxes here for this. Gas tier. I should probably put that with my chemistry stuff. Oops. Take it, that was frightening. Thank you, Eva Rubio. Alrighty. But yeah, it's so nice to be back in Tennessee. Although it's not snowing in Tennessee like it is at Castle Ravenloft here. We are actually having a really, really bad cold snap. It was around 17 degrees Fahrenheit recently, which is like into the negative Celsius. I don't know what the plural of Celsius is. But yeah, I don't know. It's so nice being home, being back in Tennessee. Also, like, I didn't get to play Minecraft much while I was there, because we were just always busy doing other stuff. We visited a butterfly preserve, which is like a greenhouse full of butterflies, which is really good, because it was actually pretty cold in Texas, too. It was below freezing most of the days we were there, which kind of precluded much outdoor activity, unfortunately. Like, I don't know if you've ever had a child, but they really benefit from outdoor activity, and really do not benefit from a lack of outdoor activity. Like, a lack of outdoor activity is the last thing they need. So, yeah, that was a little rough on my daughter, being stuck inside so much. But we tried to, I took her to a mini golf and bumper car place one day, and we played some air hockey, and, you know, stuff like that, just to get her a little bit of exercise here and there. But yeah, it was a good Christmas. Our biggest gift for the family is actually the trip to Pax South we've got coming up. Like, some of you guys were kind enough to donate via PayPal or whatever to the fundraiser I had for that. Which covered about a third of the trip's budgeted expenses, but the other 2/3 I just went ahead and made. Why am I flying out here? I need to go. I'm trying to go to the catacombs. But the other 2/3 I covered out of pocket, so that's a pretty big Christmas gift for everybody. But it'll be nice to all be able to do something as a family and have some fun together. So we're going to be heading down there toward the middle of the month. So I'm hoping that I can have some content for you guys out of San Antonio around then. But let's see. And then the week after that, or the weekend after that, we're going to be going down to Chattacon. So that'll be good too. So not too many gifts under the tree this year, but a big trip coming up, and my daughter's super excited, and really we all are. So thank you again to those of you guys who chipped in toward that fundraiser. Let's see, what else have we got planned? Okay, so this is where I need to actually put the black wool in. You know, you would think, you know, I kind of went underground to get away from the lightning or thunder noise. Didn't help. For those of you guys who haven't been following my castle build, probably should give you a little bit of context. This here is the catacombs, and they bury a bunch of people down here. And there's supposed to be bats all over the ceiling, and so I have gone in and put diorite on the floor, and I'm in the process of putting in black wool on the ceiling to give the impression that this place is just infested or covered with bats. I think it should be a pretty good thing, especially once we, right now we've got the brightness turned all the way up. Let's go back down to moody. Yeah, see, this works. I like that. That's a lot better. But yeah, so we got our brightness down, got our bats in our ceiling. Whoops. Not very effective there. I might turn that up a little bit because I'm a picky person. 45, 29. Should probably set it to 18 for 2018, but I'm not that thoughtful. So there's a note for another day. Let's see. So other things about the trip. Let's see, what else did we do? One thing I also did during the trip was I read a book by Joseph Heller that I hadn't read before called Picture This, which is like a bizarre, almost Wikipedia-like history of a painting by Rembrandt called Aristotle Contemplating the Bust of Homer. And, like, basically Heller just goes through the production of this painting and talks about everything that was going on with Rembrandt at the time and before, and everything that happened to Aristotle at the age that he is in the painting, plus everything that happened before. And so the book ends up being a lot about, like, the Spartans and the Athenians and the Persians and Plato and Socrates, all through this weird, like I said, it's like Wikipedia-like, because it's like you're reading something about this painting, and it's like, oh, there's a bust of Homer in the painting, so then we're going to go talk about Homer for a little bit. And then Aristotle in the painting was studied, in Athens, and so we're going to talk about Athens. Oh, who are other famous Athenians? And then we start talking about all these Athenian tyrants, and like the Athenian power structure, and it's weird. It's ostensibly a fiction novel, but and the dialogue is, like, hilarious and goofy, so that's how you kind of know it's a Joseph Heller book. But it's because he wrote Catch-22. He's famous for absurd dialogue, but, like, the actual history in there is fairly accurate. There's a little bit of metaphor for Cold War America and Russia with the Athenians and the Spartans, but, like, on the whole, it's actually a pretty solid read in terms of, like, a primer or a rough guide to Greek history as well as Dutch history, plus a bunch of stuff about New York City, because that's where the painting eventually ended up. Anyway, so yeah, if you're looking for a really weird book, picture this by Joseph Heller. It's an interesting read. Wow. Okay, so I think that we've probably gotten a little bit of cleaning up done today. We got some wrapping paper done. We got some catacomb work done. I really need to go through and figure out what I want to use these boxes for, because I am sure that I have building tower parts that I need to do and I need to think about. I'm just like, I've been out of the game for so long. Oh yeah, I've got that whole nether hub I was working on. I'm going to have to get some iron to shear sheep for that. But anyway, I think this is an interesting way to kick off 2018 with a massive intel problem, a weird book by Joseph Heller, and some random cleanup of stuff around the server. Oh yeah, and the Gift of Flight. The Gift of Flight is the best. Anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll land over here. Okay, stop recording. Stream is going to continue though, guys, don't worry. Okay, so let's see. I'm still doing some work around the studio to get the network back up. I had some issues. Hey, Chipster, welcome. I had some issues with the internet the other day, and I don't have everything exactly the way I would like it yet, but it's kind of good enough to be okay. But, let's see. While you guys are here, is there anything that you would particularly like to see from Hermitcraft this week, month, year? Man, okay, I'm still missing some of this roof. I'm so lazy about that stuff. Are we going to work on the nether hub? That's an excellent question. What we really need to do before we work on the nether hub is go get more wool. That continues to be our biggest limiting agent on that. So, in terms of metal... wait. Oh, that's redstone. I was really excited for a second. In terms of metal, though, I think I've got some shears somewhere. Also, welcome Jedi Strek. Hey, welcome Grizzly Moo and Terrence Poncer. Glad to have you guys. Shears? Nope, I'm just... You know what I probably should be doing? Is I probably should be using these ender chests to move a... to move all this netherrack out of here. Red wool, black wool. Well, we can use that black wool, or we can at least take that for our we can take the black wool for our catacombs and go set those up over there now. It's funny how much faster I can move just with these firework rockets. Like, compared to ender pearls, these are 100 times better. But I am going to wear through them real quick if I'm not careful. My sheep farm from Season 2 needs to return for Season 5, says King Style Toast. Interesting suggestion. If I had a mass... X has a mass wool farm I could plunder. My wool farm's actually pretty okay. It's just not super fast. Do I mean shulkers? I got a shulker box now. Whoa. Okay, apparently that was not as soft to land in as I was hoping. Okay. So, let's see. We can just kind of come through here and work on this a little bit. Jedi Trek, when asked what he would like to see this year, says, I know they are hard to schedule, but I would love to see more collabs with other hermits. I would too. That is definitely something I gotta work out. Kara Sophia writes, do I still have a crypt? I think so. Yep. Yeah, Kara Sophia was one of our test game players, and one of the crypts will have the name of a party member. So I think I just tossed that on there. I think I did it when she wasn't looking, but she might have been looking. Is it spelt right? I'm not sure. I was in a hurry. Yeah, that looks right. Welcome, Caleb. Welcome, Markham Plays. Welcome, Anime Guy. Glad to have you guys. We were just doing some detail work on our crypt off camera right now. We got our episode recorded in pretty good time, and I'm not necessarily ready mentally to start another one. I'm catching up after a few days off. Yeah, we were out of town for about 8 days, I guess. So, maybe 9. The thing is, it wasn't really a relaxing trip, because, like, I didn't, like, my daughter was kind of sick for a lot of it and didn't sleep very well, which meant that I didn't sleep very well. So, I'm actually further behind on sleep now than I was before I left, which is not ideal. Joel says, the Elytra has vented so you can heal it. I know. But it doesn't need it right now. What's that last charm? Oh, durability. Oh, it's not spelled right? Okay, fine, I'll go fix it. I was worried I'd spelled Karis wrong. I didn't bother proofreading the Sophia part. That's on me, I guess. Has the cold caused any difficulties for this week? It's just a little extra cold. Nothing too major. I mean, we get cold in Tennessee, so... I know a lot of the local libraries had to close down because they had, heating issues, but nothing, where I work or anything too bad. Although the heat in our building, did take a while to kick in yesterday morning. Karis Sophia says, I need a funny epitaph. Well, that might not even be there next time you play. Maybe next time that'll be, like, you know, one of the other players' graves. So... Takajin Gamin says, try the new 113 textures. Well, I'm on 112, so I don't think that I'm going to do that right now. I've already got all the textures I need. Jedi Trek says, we lost a car battery the other day due to the weather. Yeah, we had that problem last year when it got cold. Our battery was already on its way out, and that really kind of pushed it over the edge. So, our car battery now is less than a year old, so it's okay. So no major car trouble. When I have a hermit party, I definitely need an epitaph. That's very true. I agree with you on that. This whole place is going to look so much better once this gets done. Sorry guys, I know it's a lot of detail work, but... And once we get the whole floor diorite as well. Yep. Kind of makes the most sense to just start at the center and work outward. Welcome, Gustav. Let's see, 12:49. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep going for another few minutes, just to try to... No sense in putting all this wool in a box when I know what I need to do with it, you know? Okay. And that was it for the Black Wolf right now. Out of context, this is kind of a weird view, says Ozathoth. Yeah, like, just jumping toward the darkness and continuously placing blocks is kind of weird contextually. I'm gonna agree with you there. Okay. So, you know what? Why don't we just go all the way to the oh, because there's no windows all the way at the top. This tower is sealed off. I had forgotten. So much of this castle used to have huge holes between the rooms that now that I have to actually, like, go outdoors and stuff, I'm not used to it yet. Nathan A. Myers says, I've never watched your videos before, but I get the impression you always speak in rhyme at all times. This is correct. That's not technically right, although you might get a fright if you were to perceive or otherwise believe that my linguistic skills were somehow meant to kill or otherwise deaden the brain cells, you know, to seek out ways for people to examine them own selves. You know, it's just like what I do, man. I just psych you out like that's the plan. So, some of it rhymes. Okay. How many hours of playtime do I usually devote to a particular world before moving on? Asks Jedi's Trek. I don't know. However long the Hermitcraft server lasts. Like, I'm in favor of keeping a particular Hermitcraft world up for about 15 to 18 months. But other people are going to have other ideas. And part of that is that I can't play for 6 hours a day. I get to play for 40 minutes a day. So, you know, everybody has different, like, goals they want to accomplish on the server. Man, this armor is not great. No, it's not. I'll deal with that later. And I'm going to need to free up some space, so I'm going to actually collect this wool, too. Turtleman CTW says, Joe, I started watching your channel, and I'm loving you, and keep up the good work. Thank you. When was the last time I played on a single-player world? Not since, boy, I used to do a lot of Vetch's maps in single-player worlds, but it's been a while. So, a couple of years. I do snapshot stuff in single-player, but, like, that's where, like, I open the snapshot and then I close it. Like, I don't come back to that world. Everybody says use shulker boxes. Okay, guys, fine. Here we go, putting stuff in the shulker boxes. Y'all happy? Okay. So, I'll put this in there too. And do I really need a second shovel? Not at the moment. What's the difference between these? Unbreak and Silk Touch. Okay. Joe, do I have a shop? Kind of. It's not really done. I've got so much stuff I need to work on. I'm kind of trying to do my nether hub right now, and it's really slow going on account of the materials being used. Let's see. Is that your real name? Yes. I do have legs. And it is short for Joseph. Is that really loud for you guys? I can turn it down if so. I usually try to keep the volume down a little bit on that stuff. I think you can see my legs in the swimming pool episodes. How long do the hermits use to pick a seed for the new season? Well, so like last time, Tango wrote a computer program to search for seeds, or to generate seeds to try and find quad witch huts. And so that computer program ran for like 4 days straight. And then we spent like a week looking at the different options, maybe, on our own. And then we looked at them together to talk about them, and then we picked this one. I'm pretty happy with the seed. Like, when we did the Mesa season, we knew we wanted a seed with a Mesa, so we just looked for a seed with a Mesa. But we also wanted quad witch huts and stuff, I think. Okay. Friendly creatures are turned down. When might another Nashville meetup happen? Not sure. We talk about it sometimes, but Will's wife is recovering from like a medical thing, so it hasn't been a good time recently. But she's doing well, so it's gonna be again soon. What is my glasses prescription? High. It is a lot. I don't know the exact number, because I only get new glasses like every 4 or 5 years, because they're super expensive when your eyes are as messed up as mine. So yeah, I got my last sets of glasses right before my daughter was born, and I got 2 pairs in case she broke one, and yeah, I'm still wearing them. So that's going on 5 years. One of the nice things is as you get older, like my eyes were constantly getting worse as a kid, but they kind of stabilized as an adult, so I don't need to get new ones every year like I used to, or every other year. Okay, well, I think that it's probably time for me to get going, because I gotta do some more network configuration stuff to try and transfer some footage. But thank you guys for coming out to the stream today to hang out and enjoy the joys of sheep herding and shearing with me. So, thank you for shearing, everybody. Just kidding. Let's go ahead and find somewhere prettier to end the episode than right here. Or the stream. Flying away is the best way to get away today. Anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.